This guy is just an errand boy. It was Joshua, my 37-year-old manager, who said that about me. The day the CEO from the overseas headquarters visited, Joshua and I took him to a fancy restaurant. Suddenly, the CEO started staring intently at me. Then, the CEO revealed my true identity. My name is John, and I'm 53 years old. While working at a life insurance company, I had been caring for my mother, but she developed dementia and had to move into a nursing home. I quit my job to care for her, but it became too lonely being at home alone, so at 53, I luckily got hired in the general affairs department of a large company. However, Joshua considered me an incompetent old man and didn't like me. Now, let's reflect on my complex life, which has passed its halfway point. I was born to a father who ran a small business and a stay-at-home mother. When I was 3, my father's business was failing, and he suddenly passed away from an illness. I was 3 then, and I have hardly any memories of that time. I vaguely remember a brother-like figure who was always with me. He was probably a neighborhood friend. By the time I was aware of my surroundings, my mother and I were living in a small apartment on government support, and she had a heart condition. Caring for me was too difficult for my mother, so I was placed in a children's home. That was when I was 4 years old. My mother probably saw me off with a forced smile. I faintly remember her smiling and waving goodbye. At the home, I shared a room with a boy named Bobby, who was the same age as me, and I cried constantly. I thought I could go home in the evening. When I realized I couldn't, I refused to eat and stayed under the bed. For a while, I couldn't eat at all. I stayed in the room and cried all the time. The others called me crybaby, but Bobby would drag me to the big hall, saying, "Hey, John, let's play." Everyone shouted, "Crybaby's here," but Bobby would say, "Everyone cried at first too." Then an older boy brought me a picture book and read it to me. I was captivated by the book, and gradually, the caregivers read more picture books to me, and I started eating with everyone. Gradually, I was able to sleep. Sometimes I dreamed of my mother and woke up crying in the morning. "John, are you okay? It's time for breakfast." "I've been here since I was a baby, so we're like brothers." "Yeah, I'm okay." "You don't have parents either, Bobby?" "No. Maybe they are somewhere." At just 5 years old, we had such conversations. Then I entered elementary school. I had a rather large mole between my eyebrows, and at school, I was bullied. Called a parentless Buddha statue or told touching me would bring bad luck. Bobby would defend me, saying, "I'm always with him and nothing bad happens," but we were still outcasts. An older boy from the home warned me to ignore what others say, so I was somewhat prepared. As those days passed, when I was in 3rd grade, a blond boy named Sam joined the home. His eyes were a clear blue, and he didn't seem to speak much Japanese. Sam was in the room next to mine, always reading many English books his father had given him. I loved books, so I approached Sam, saying, "Tell me what these say." Sam nodded and said, "Yes." Then Sam simply said, "I don't understand Japanese." From then on, Bobby and I talked to Sam a lot. Sam gradually learned Japanese, and Bobby and I slowly learned English. Sam had come to Japan with his father after his mother passed away in the US, and his father's busy work schedule brought him to our home. At school, Sam, Bobby, and I were in the same class, and during breaks, Bobby and I would help Sam with language arts and math, mixing in English. Through this, we all developed a love for studying. Sam occasionally received English books from his father, and Bobby and I were fascinated by them. During meals, Sam would teach us the names of fruits and vegetables in English, making mealtime enjoyable. During summer break, Sam intensively taught us English, and we spent our days translating English books into Japanese and discussing them with Sam. We also helped Sam with his summer homework, and gradually, Bobby and I started to speak some English. In middle school, Bobby and I had excellent grades. Sam, who had become quite proficient in Japanese, would ask us about kanji for his language arts classes, and his grades improved as well. Even after returning to the home, the 3 of us devoted ourselves to studying. We smoothly passed our high school entrance exams. We graduated at the top of our class in high school. However, after graduating from high school, we had to part ways. The farewell was very sad. We had supported each other like brothers, or even more than brothers. I secured a job at a life insurance company, Bobby got a job at a publishing company, and Sam was hired at his father's company. Bobby was happy about getting company housing. Then, graduation day came. Amidst the early blooming of cherry blossoms in spring break, a luxury car arrived at the home. It was Sam's father. We greeted everyone, including Mr. Carter, the head of the children's home, and then returned to our homes. Sam's father wanted to thank us personally, so Bobby and I saw Sam off. Bobby and I held back our tears as we were each driven home in the children's home's car. When I got home, my mother cried with joy and apologized to me. Looking much older than I remembered, my mother said, "John, I'm sorry for all the hardship you went through." "Mom, are you okay?" For me, living at the home wasn't hard at all. It must have been tougher for you, being alone. But I'm here now. I have a job. And we don't need government support anymore. As I said this, the tears I had been holding back streamed down my face, and I hugged my frail mother. That day, my mother splurged on meat and made beef stew. Apparently, if she had heart surgery, she could improve significantly, but being old-fashioned, she refused further government help. Bobby, Sam, and I exchanged addresses. One day, Sam and his father visited us. It was just before the entrance ceremony for our jobs. "My son Sam is very grateful to you, John," Sam's father said, handing my mother a business card. Later, we found out that Sam's father was the son of a real estate mogul in the US and had come to Japan for resort development. And the Japanese facility wasn't free for them. It seems Bobby and I had been under government care. Sam's father took my mother and me to Bobby's company housing, and the five of us went to a family restaurant. Sam's father had something to discuss. After the meal, he said, "You boys are very good at studying. Sam's Japanese has improved thanks to you." "No, we learned a lot of English from Sam," I replied. "Me too," Bobby added. "That's natural. Without you, Sam would have had a lonely school life," Sam's father said in fluent Japanese. He continued, "How would you like to attend university in the US?" What? What? Bobby and I were surprised. My mother said, "We don't have that kind of money. Don't worry about the money. My father passed away, and I've taken over his business. I'm returning to the US with Sam. And I want you boys to further your education. So please, don't worry about the expenses." But the five of us fell silent. I broke the silence. "Mr. Thompson, thank you. Actually, my mother has a heart condition, and I want to stay by her side." "Is your mother's condition serious?" "Yes, she can get better with surgery, and I plan to work so she can have it." "In that case, I know a doctor. You should act quickly. Please, come to the US. As I mentioned before, John, you can pay me back later." "What?" I was even more surprised. And I pondered. I wanted my mother to get well. "Mr. Thompson, thank you for offering to let me pay you back later. I'll gratefully accept your help." When I said that and bowed, Sam and his father smiled warmly. Meanwhile, Bobby was still unsure. I've been in the children's home since I was born, and I still don't know much about Japan. So, I think I want to stay here." "I see. Then I want you to go to university in Japan. It's still quite a credential-oriented society here," Sam's father said. He handed Bobby a large envelope as if he had it prepared in advance. Bobby took it and was astonished. The contents of Sam's father's attaché case seemed to be detailed inside. It appeared to be a substantial amount of money, enough to attend university. Bobby was. "I'm surprised. Can I also pay you back later?" "Of course. You've had a hard time too. Enjoy your university life." Afterwards, on the way home, Sam's father told Bobby to get a seal for his bank account and took him to the bank to deposit the money for safety. Bobby declined the job offer, rented a small apartment, worked part-time, and studied hard. A year later, he was accepted into Tokyo University. He worked as a tutor while paying back Sam's father bit by bit, but Sam's father didn't accept the payments. As for me, I declined the job offer and went to California with my mother and Sam's family. We stayed at Sam's mansion for a while. Despite being a bit late, Sam and I were both accepted into the prestigious UCLA. And so, we became university students. My mother underwent successful heart surgery, thanks to a doctor recommended by Sam's father. She recovered gradually while resting. The university required TOEFL and SAT exams, but Sam's father helped us with English conversation, business English, and grammar. Sam's father, with tears in his eyes, said, "I couldn't save my wife, but I'm glad John's mother is getting better." What a compassionate man he was. We lived in a place called Little Tokyo in California. California is surrounded by natural beauty like beaches, mountains, and deserts. Little Tokyo is a Japanese-style town reminiscent of the Meiji era, with many Japanese residents and tourists. The murals in the neighboring town were captivating. The university was less than an hour away by bus, which felt like a dream. My mother felt guilty staying idle and started working at a souvenir shop in Little Tokyo. It was also part of Sam's father's property. As an international student, I couldn't work outside the campus, but campus jobs were allowed, so we managed on our own. However, Sam's father never accepted rent or tuition from us. Sam and I enjoyed our university life, spending summers working and having fun at the beach, even dating, and we graduated together in 4 years. After graduation, Sam and I helped with sales at Sam's father's real estate company. Sam got his driver's license early, and we often went out together. The souvenir shop my mother worked at was popular, and we had no trouble making ends meet. She was very happy to be able to work, and her once gaunt cheeks filled out as she started eating well. Although I received a salary from our sales work, I wanted to use it to pay for my tuition, but Sam's father wouldn't accept it. He said it was because he always wanted another child. Sam's father's company was a large corporation, and Sam assured me that I didn't need to worry about money. I received an airmail from Bobby, saying he had graduated and secured a job at a major publishing company. It was a time when conversations were carried out through letters or phone calls, as mobile phones were not yet common. I spent my 20s running around the US working in real estate sales. My sales performance was good, and I wanted to repay Sam's father in some way. Before I knew it, I had picked up a native English accent during my university years. One day, my mother received an airmail from Japan. It said that her sister was now alone and needed care. While I was in the home, my mother had relied on her sister for shopping and household chores. When I told Sam and his father about this, they encouraged me to return to Japan. By then, mobile phones and the internet were widespread, and I had received an airmail from Bobby with his email address. We started communicating via email, and I shared my email address with Sam, deeply bowing to thank his father before returning to Japan. My mother and I rented a small apartment near my aunt. In Japan, I joined a life insurance company, and Sam occasionally visited us from the US. At the insurance company, I shared my background only with the CEO, Mr. Taylor, and soon started running around in sales. The sales style was different from the US, so I began by learning from my seniors. I gradually improved my sales performance but never indulged in luxury. That was life for my mother and me. When my aunt entered a special nursing home, my mother started working part-time in a factory. The seasons changed quickly. Meeting Sam had changed my life, and I couldn't help but be amazed by it. I was already 50 years old. Sam had married in the US and had a happy family. I had become the CEO of Sam's father's company's branch in Japan. However, I mostly delegated tasks to employees, only reviewing documents and sending them to Sam via computer. Then, when my mother turned 73, she became bedridden due to a compression fracture in her back. I quit my job at the insurance company to care for her. I was offered a position in the General Affairs Department, but my mother was my only family. Still single due to my busy work life, I devoted myself to caring for her. Although she initially improved, she eventually developed severe dementia. I was 53 years old. Her dementia was quite advanced. I placed my mother in a nursing home. A nearby nursing home had a vacancy, but my mother gradually began to forget who I was. Living alone in the apartment, I recalled my younger self crying in the children's home. I managed the company with the help of the property management company and employees, with minimal work involving year-end settlements and correspondence. Bobby had become a department head at a publishing company and had children in college. I felt the urge for the three of us to meet again. Sam's father had become chairman, and Sam was now CEO of the company in the US. Sam's daughter was attending our alma mater. I asked Sam if he could come to Japan. I arranged to meet with Bobby and Sam at a fancy restaurant. Bobby and I split the bill. I picked up Sam from the airport, and we hugged joyfully at Haneda. I arranged Sam's accommodations. After resting for a night to adjust to the time difference, we enjoyed a leisurely day of shopping like children. At the restaurant that night, Sam said, "So your mother is in a nursing home now. You didn't end up with your girlfriend in the US, huh?" "No, she didn't want to come to Japan. Anyway, Sam and your father have been incredibly helpful to us." "It's fine. My father was just lonely. No matter how much money you have, without family, there's no dream or hope. All he had left was taking over my grandfather's business. He wanted us young ones to have dreams." "I see. I'm alone again now. I have time on my hands, and at 53, I'm looking for a job other than being a CEO. Yes, you've taken good care of the Japan branch, but the few employees we have are very competent. I don't know how to feel about my daughter getting a boyfriend." "Yeah, I get it. I have a daughter too." We enjoyed our meal with such conversations. Then Sam said, "You know, I have a connection at a foreign life insurance company dealing with real estate claims. Their branch is nearby. Should I introduce you?" "Really? That would be great. I can't handle sales anymore, but I could do an office job." Sam immediately called Mr. Smith, the CEO of KM Corporation, and introduced me. An interview was set up for the following week. Sam explained my background and my current role as CEO to Mr. Smith, and my history was kept confidential, known only to Mr. Smith and a few in HR. Sam enjoyed his long-missed Japanese food, and as Bobby's vacation ended, we saw Sam off at the airport. I had my interview at KM Corporation and was soon hired into the General Affairs Department. I introduced myself and took my seat at my desk. The office included a very young, late-30s elite manager named Joshua, who graduated from Tokyo University. The department head was a woman named Michelle, who appeared to be around 40. Michelle was very beautiful and had a strong career woman vibe. In his initial greeting, Joshua introduced himself as a Tokyo University graduate. "Ah, credentialism. What a pity." I realized it instantly. Even though I had attended university thanks to Sam's father, the US was merit-based, as was my previous insurance company. Despite being a foreign company, Joshua's young age combined with his credentialism was disheartening. While I was typing at my desk, Joshua said, "Hey, you old mid-career hire. Get some coffee for everyone." "Yes, Joshua." "Right away," I replied. Michelle interjected, "Joshua, watch your tone. You can't speak to a senior like that. John has a proper name. I'll get the coffee myself." "Michelle, the department head shouldn't be getting coffee." "John, I'll get it today." I bowed my head to Michelle and sat back down. "John, apologize to Michelle," Joshua ordered. "Oh, yes." I apologized to Michelle when she brought the coffee. She smiled warmly and said, "It's okay. I need the exercise." During lunch break, I ate a convenience store bento at my desk. Michelle always went out for lunch. Joshua seemed to have a homemade lunch. "Hey, John. Are you seriously single at your age, eating convenience store food?" "That's pathetic." "Yes, I'm single. But I don't mind," I retorted. Joshua looked puzzled as he ate his homemade lunch. After lunch, Joshua said, "Hey, John. Make 50 copies of this." "Yes, right away." I went to the copy room and looked at the contents of the document. I immediately realized it was an important copy. This foreign company collaborated with financial firms, using credit card information for phone sales. It was a legitimate partnership, so there was no problem. Thus, sales were done entirely over the phone. Employees spent their time making call after call. There were no field sales. I created and mailed documents for the contracted clients. It wasn't too busy. I logged into a different app on my computer and could see information about the properties I was managing. There were female employees who acted mostly as operators. When Michelle went out, Joshua said, "Hey, John. You look bored. Why don't you clean the building today?" "Yes, Joshua. Even though I was constantly assigned menial tasks, it wasn't a burden compared to my previous job. I chatted with the cleaning lady and helped her clean the entrance. Just then, Michelle returned. "John, what are you doing? The cleaning is supposed to be done by the cleaning staff. Please return to your desk immediately." "Oh, Michelle. Joshua instructed me to do this, and besides, I could use the exercise," I replied. "Oh, I see," Michelle said as she walked back to the office. Once the cleaning was mostly done, I returned to the office. Suddenly, Joshua dropped a thick stack of documents on my desk and said, "John, this is today's paperwork. Finish it by the end of the day." "Understood," I said, speeding up my typing on the keyboard. I was already familiar with using a computer from my previous job. I managed to finish the work with some overtime. Joshua left promptly. I received an encouraging internal email from Michelle, saying, "Keep up the good work." At 7 p.m., I finished and went to a diner before heading home. Joshua might act superior, but I enjoyed working, and being busy was better than being bored at home. Compared to the busy life of sales, menial tasks were nothing. One day, Michelle invited me to dinner through an internal email. I responded that I'd be happy to join her, even if it was just a family restaurant. When Michelle arrived, she let down her tied-up hair, and her sleek black hair shone. I felt a slight flutter. "John, sorry for the sudden invitation. I'm single too and thought it would be better to have company for dinner," she said. "That's an honor," I replied. We ordered and had a meal together. Joshua can be quite arrogant, can't he? He's always been like that with new hires, and some have even quit because of him. I often warn him, but..." She explained. "Is that so?" "Well, he did mention graduating from Tokyo University. Given my age and being a mid-career hire, it's understandable that he might look down on me," I said. "Really? But..." I reported it to Mr. Smith. She said with a mischievous smile. "After that," she asked, "can we have dinner like this sometimes? That makes me happy." "Of course, Michelle." I said that and felt my face warm up a bit. We started going out for meals frequently, and eventually, Michelle and I began dating, spending weekends watching movies and shopping together. One day, Michelle told Joshua, "Joshua, the CEO from the overseas headquarters is coming tomorrow. Arrange for a nice restaurant immediately. And you and John are invited." "What? The company CEO?" "Understood, Michelle." Joshua immediately called to make a reservation at the nice restaurant as Michelle instructed. I wondered what business the CEO had with me. I found it quite puzzling. Then, the following evening, it was a bright night with a beautiful autumn full moon. The restaurant we arrived at was the same one I had visited with Sam and the others before. Joshua and I nervously headed to the restaurant. Then, the sliding door opened. A Japanese man, around my age and dressed in an obviously expensive suit, entered. I had expected an American, so I was surprised. Joshua greeted him, "Thank you, sir, for coming from afar." "Thank you. I plan to relax a bit here in Japan." "How are things?" "Everything is going smoothly." "And you are?" the CEO said, turning to me. Joshua interjected, "Oh, he's just an errand boy." "No, Joshua. I wasn't asking you." The CEO directed his attention to me. "I'm John, a mid-career hire," I introduced myself. "Nice to meet you, John," Mr. Davis said, extending his hand. I responded with a firm handshake. Then, I received a business card from him. It read Robert Davis. After a moment, Mr. Davis asked Joshua, "Is John really just an errand boy?" "Yes, that's right. Since he's a mid-career hire, he's handling various tasks for now." You have assigned John as an errand boy." "Joshua, do you realize who you're talking about?" "Excuse me?" Joshua's eyes widened. Mr. Davis continued, "Joshua, you might be a Tokyo University graduate, but it seems you lack the ability to judge people." "John, I'm sorry, but I did some research on you." "What?" "You graduated from UCLA and were an excellent salesperson in the US. Did you enjoy your time there?" Yes, Mr. Davis, it was a very rewarding experience. Did Sam tell you about it? Yes, Sam told me everything. I also did some additional research. How is your mother? She's in a nursing home, but I visit her twice a week. She's doing well, thank you. I see, that's good, Mr. Davis said, looking a bit melancholic. As the food arrived, Joshua muttered, I didn't know about UCLA. I'm sorry. Do you always judge people solely by their educational background, Joshua? The US is merit-based. Most of our clients here in Japan are elderly. Referring to someone as just an errand boy is unacceptable. Joshua, you're demoted to a regular employee. John, starting tomorrow, you will be the branch manager. What? Me, the branch manager? Yes. The current branch manager is an American and he wants to return home. I want you to take over. I am honored. Thank you. I will do my best. Mr. Davis, I'm truly sorry. I beg you, please don't demote me. I have a wife and children. Joshua pleaded, bowing deeply. He then bowed to me, apologizing as well. Mr. Davis, Joshua has apologized sincerely. I will keep an eye on him from now on, I said, feeling a bit conflicted. And at that moment, a realization struck me. John, you truly have a big heart. If you say so. Mr. Davis agreed. Joshua thanked us with tears in his eyes. Now, let's enjoy this Japanese meal. Take your time. Mr. Davis said with a smile, and Joshua poured him some sake. We chatted about recent topics and ended the dinner on a pleasant note. After seeing Joshua off, Mr. Davis called out to me. John, I have something important to discuss. Could you come to my hotel? I agreed and followed him. In a room on a high floor, Mr. Davis spoke to me. John, you've had a tough time. He placed 2 packs of shrimp crackers and beers on the table. Shrimp crackers. They were the snacks my mother used to give me when I was hungry. I realized the boy who felt like a friend back then was. I clutched the pack of crackers, tears welling up. Brother, do you remember? Our family used to share these. Our mother said the mole on your forehead would bring good fortune. She had a sister who didn't have children, and her husband worked at a big company. I was adopted into their family. My uncle forbade me from seeing our mother, who was on government support, and I couldn't see her for a long time. I received an elite education and started a company in the US. I learned about you from Sam and repaid Sam's father for your university and mother's surgery. I've wanted to see you so much. Please, let me see our mother tomorrow. My brother said. We embraced, crying together. The full moon's light shone brightly through the window, celebrating our reunion. The next day, with shrimp crackers in hand, Robert and I visited our mother. Although she no longer recognized either of us, Robert held her tightly, crying, Mom! Mom! She smiled and happily ate the shrimp crackers. Afterward, I saw Robert off at the airport, and the following day, I started working as the branch manager for Sam's company. And for Robert's company as well. Michelle proposed to me, and we got married, buying a spacious apartment. The next year, despite being an older mother, Michelle gave birth to a beautiful baby girl, and now the 3 of us live happily together. No one can live alone. I realized once again how much I am supported by various people, and I felt deep gratitude for it. I quietly vowed to work hard for my family's sake in the future.